Hey guys, wanted to go into some mistakes to avoid at the blackjack table. There are a few. It's not as daunting as you may think it is. It's not really a whole lot of things that you need to avoid. But I just wanted to touch up on the basic ones. Here we've got like a wide set of circumstances where a lot of people will kind of do the wrong thing. In the case here, you got the player here with 15. One of the big mistakes is that players will get a little too passive with their hands. Like say 14s, 15s, 16s. Even when the dealers, it doesn't matter what the dealer is showing, they're just afraid that they're going to bust, so they're not even going to bother. And that's kind of that's not really a good way that you'd want to play because generally with the deal showing like a card like say like this 9, he's going to make a hand more often than he's not going to make a hand. So by just deciding okay, I'm not going to hit my 15, in the long run you're going to end up costing yourself a lot of money. So in the case here, he hit, but it's like he ends up over 21, but at least he gave himself a shot against the 9 as opposed to just kind of like being a sitting duck with a 15. A lot of times, another thing players will do too is they'll be a little too like they'll be a little too aggressive with their hand, where the player will have like a soft 14 versus a 9, and he'll do something like he'll just want to double down on it because he just wants to get more money out, which like that never works out very well because any hand where you can't make at least a 20, that's generally not a hand you're going to want to double down on. True, he can make a 6 or a 7 with the 3, but if he misses, which most of the time he will, or now he's got a 12. He's stuck with the 12, nothing he can do about it, and he's got 400 out versus a 9. Another thing that people want to do, it's and this falls under the category of aggressive, is do moves like splitting 10s, right? Where the deal, then everybody at the table will probably kind of wince as you do it. You split these 10s, now you're looking for 2 10s or better. Now you've got a 15, and then you elect to hit the 15. He lucks out with the 20, right? But then this hand here, he's got 18, he's behind. So if the dealer ends up making a hand, then he will more than likely he'll more than likely just push, as opposed to if he would have won straight out with the 20. And another thing falls under like aggressive plays would be splitting too often, right? So a lot of times people will like want to split a pair of 7s because they want to get more money out just for whatever reason, right? So now one hand that was like okay, the 14, but now instead you've got a hand where it's like you turn your one marginal hand. Now you've got 2 of them that you're stuck with. So decide he wants to hit the 16. Now he busts. It's like now he's got a 17 that that he's stuck with. What's going to happen now? He's hoping he had a 19. He did, and he's got a 14. Dealer draws to a 20. So now he just lost 2 bets. All right, by splitting his 7s. Right, and he loses his bet, all right, and then you've got the guy who decided to split his 10s, right? He loses one of them, he pushes one, so he could have just stayed and whatever would have happened with the cards would have happened with the cards, but instead now he loses money, and then the guy who was aggressive with his soft 14, he ended up with his hard 12, he ends up losing as well. So these are a lot of mistakes that that a lot of players make that I like to try to help you guys avoid, because mistakes like that cost you money, and then then it swings the odds even further in the house's favor.